everyone. The iPad 10th generation has been out for a little bit of time now, and it is kind of interesting because I will definitely tell you these types of iPads are still very good. I still like them a lot. But now that we're going into late 2024, there's been a couple of moving pieces with this iPad, and there's been some things about this iPad that may end up making you want to go and pick it up, maybe more so than some other devices. Now, number one, a very big thing to keep in mind here is that if you are going to go through and, pick up an iPad, the iPad 10th generation right now is about $349 for the Wi-Fi model. But if you want to get the cell model, you can spend up to $499 on it. It just completely depends on up to you. Now, the one thing I can definitely tell you in my personal opinion is that the exterior for this iPad still holds up very well, right? It's not the cheapest iPad of all time, but it still is like a pretty good priced iPad. You're still getting a fairly large display on this thing, which is still very nice, 10.9 inches. It's a good looking panel. You're able to have a little bit of bezel on it, but nothing super crazy. USB Type-C port on the bottom, which is still kind of annoying because you can't use this thing with, a Apple Pencil 2 or anything like that. You have to either get the Apple Pencil 1 or Apple Pencil USB-C. If that's not a big deal to you, then this thing should be okay. But if it is a big deal to you, then you're going to have to look elsewhere for an iPad that supports a better type of Apple Pencil. Now, on top of that, you're also getting flat sides on this thing, which still look really good. You can go ahead and basically just have the flat back on this thing with a single camera setup. Nothing super insane or crazy features that we haven't already seen. There's still a lot of similar stuff on this type of iPad that we get in a lot of current iPads as well. But I would say the build quality for the price of this iPad is still up there, and I still think it holds up very well when it comes down to that particular side. Now, on top of that, another very big thing to keep in mind here too when it comes down to these two iPads is that when it comes down to something like the iPad, 10th generation, this iPad's performance is still very good. It just got iPadOS 18, and with its Apple A14 Bionic chip with 4GB of RAM, this iPad is still a fairly good performing iPad for the most part. This thing is still going to be performing very, very well, and I do think that in and of itself is a very big thing going on here. Like if you're able to go through and pick up an iPad, this is a very solid option in and of itself. And I do think once again, if you are going to go through and pick up a device, this is a very nice performing device when it comes down to it. It may not be perfect, but I do think if you're going to go through and pick up an iPad, the performance of this thing is still top tier, and it's still a very good performing iPad when it comes down to it. Now, on top of that, some other big things to keep in mind here too, is that when you're going to go through and pick up an iPad, you will also have to remember that this type of device is also not going to be just only available in the brand new market. Now that we're in the later part of this year, it's been out for over 2 years now, so you can easily pick up one of these types of iPads for maybe $200, $250, something closer to that, probably less than $300 as of this point. Considering that it's available in the brand new market for $350, you could probably find these things for around $300, probably closer to $250 in the used market. So that is a really big thing to keep in mind here too, because you can easily go through, pick up one of these types of devices, and it's not going to be this super expensive device. It is going to be fairly cheap for the most part, and I think that in and of itself is a very, very big thing to keep in mind here too. So overall, I'm definitely a big fan of the iPad 10. I think it's still a very good iPad to pick up for the most part. It may not be perfect, but I think if you're going to go through and pick up a device, I think it is a fairly solid option for the most part. So that pretty much covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.